the Vikings might be working on an extension for Andrew Van Ginkel. And what that might look like would be a 3-year deal at $15 million per. So we'd have him the next 4 years for $55 million total. Are you guys in for that? Right now he's 29. He'll turn 30 in July. So by the time this contract ends, he'll be 33.
And how much is the total contract?
15 million a year after he gets the 10 mil this year.
I'm pretty good with that because I think when Hunter was 29, he was looking for like 18 million a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm right with 15.
I can see 15 too because Crosby, Max. So I got him right underneath Max Crosby because the contract tiers are on the highest page at 28, and then Crosby's down at like 7th at 25 million. You have the 10 million plus the 15. That puts him at Crosby kind of numbers for that year, right? So, and again, second team All Pro, he should be getting paid as if he was a second team All Pro player.
Yeah, we took a game. He was hurt coming into the year. So Kwesi's gamble was that he could rehab the hurt guy, and he had some issues with that. So I think he overcame them, which is great. My only question at 29 for him is, and I don't know the answer to this, so I'm not really making a take here, and maybe you guys could elaborate more. It seems to me that he's not only really great at anticipating a play and reading a play, but he's also it's really important for him to be fast and quick. And at 29, 30, 31, 32, I don't know that the comp is actually Hunter. Hunter could bull rush you. I don't think Van Ginkel can do that. He's got to be fast and quick. So I think the comp would be maybe somebody other than Hunter. 15 million is still a lot of money for a guy that might only be a player that gets in certain downs, right? He might be a specialist at some point in that time frame and maybe not get the amount of snaps he did this year as a result of that. Am I crazy for saying that, or
you're not crazy for the reasoning, but I don't think I'd be too worried about it. But your reasoning makes sense. It's a sound argument for why you would at least be hesitant to do it.
But something, David, the compensation could be for losing a step is playing smarts. He's obviously very, like you said, he's great at anticipating. So even if he loses a step, he could still anticipate and put himself in the right place. I don't think Harrison Smith is anywhere near as fast as he was his first few years in the league, but he's smarter. So get to know the system better, become more fluent in the defense, have a little bit better anticipation. But if he doesn't have a pick six in week 1, then I'm going to consider him a bust.
Well, we just got to send Ronaldo to the game and tell him to go get a beer, and he'll do it.
Yeah,
I will.
What about this? Don't hate me, Vikings Nation. What about this? He still has a year left on his contract. What is his trade value right now as being a second team All Pro?
I don't think that's crazy, dude.
I think it's
it's not.
It's not.
We happen to have a first round draft pick sitting behind him.
Get a number 15 sitting out there, bro.
We might be able to get a second round pick for him.
Second, maybe it's a second or third and a couple fourths.
Guys, there's no teams in the league that need an edge rusher.
No,
they don't need that.
Don't hate me, Viking Nation, but
I don't think it's crazy.
I don't hate you for throwing it out there, but do you really want to do that?
If I got Dallas Turner on the field, more playing time, I would definitely think about doing that. If I get offered a second right now for Ginkel the way it is, 1 for 1, I would probably take it.
Can I say something? I think don't hate me, Viking Nation, but I think the whole Dallas Turner didn't play as much as we wanted him to play because of who was in front of him was a cope. Okay. Yeah. If he was good enough to be out there, he would have been out there. Okay. So Patrick Jones wouldn't have been out there as much as he was. So I think, that's just us coping, and which is fine because he's also 21 years old. So we compared to Jared Verse, but Jared Verse is 24 years old. So he's got time. But if he was really that man right now, he would have been out there playing.
And that kind of makes sense too, though. Who's cheaper, Patrick Jones or Van Ginkel? Like I'd rather if I can get a second for Ginkel and only re-sign Patrick Jones to $10 million a year, I'm probably going to take that route.
Cody just stole the words out of my mouth.
So here's the thing with the Patrick Jones and Dallas Turner. I feel like Dallas Turner can't be on the line in that role that Patrick Jones is playing. I feel like his best role would be playing some middle linebacker and playing some outside linebacker, being an edge rusher. When it comes to Patrick Jones, he has more, I say, experience, and he also showed the strength you need to constantly be going up against the tackle and taking on double teams. Dallas Turner doesn't have that skill set yet. And it's like, we all know he had Van Ginkel and Grenard in front of him, but I don't think his role should have been to compete with Patrick Jones because they just two different play styles.
Right. So would you compare him like so his backup role? If Van Ginkel went down, you'd have saw a lot more of Turner, right? A whole lot more of Turner. But because it wasn't Van Ginkel that went down for the most part, it wasn't Turner that came in. It was that whole right. I mean, no one went down, so.
But no one went down. But there were still games where we saw him get 15 to 20 snaps, and there's games where we saw him get 0 to 3 snaps. So like there was snaps available.
You're not wrong. I get it.
So
the only part of Dallas Turner's game that I'm concerned about at this point is I couldn't see him setting the edge.
Right. I don't think that's his game at all. That's Patrick Jones's game.
Yeah. And that's what you need from a 3-4 defensive end to be able to set the edge and take on double teams.
Right. Nobody trusts Kwesi to make picks, but they all want to trade their players for draft picks.
Hey, I wouldn't even say nothing. There's a big gap between KOC's 5-year contract he just signed to Kwesi not signing anything yet. Just saying.
Next week, Cody.
Yeah. We'll say next week for a while.
To put to bed, I would definitely sign Van Ginkel 3 years, $45 million, have him for the next 4 years. I think about 33. I think that's about the cutoff when he's going to fall off a cliff. And it might be sooner, but I'm sure there's going to be out in that last year where he doesn't have guaranteed money. So, man, sign me up for this all day. I would say it all season after about like the first 8 games, like, he's only under contract for 2 years. Like, we need to go ahead and extend this guy now. So if they are talking about it, that excites me. And I hope they are. And I do hope that gets done.